growing a team to do 24 million in installs in 2024.
24 million in 1 year.
24 million in installs.
Hey guys, welcome to the Age of Abundance Golfcast, first overall episode. And the way this Golfcast works is we're going to share interesting stories and hear a lot more about Shane.
I got into solar in 2021. Spent about 5 years in solar. Just recently started winding it down and got into life insurance about 5 months ago. My wife and I are building an agency and have big plans and super excited for the new opportunity.
Get ready to hear the good, the bad, the ugly, overcoming vices, everything that has to do with keeping a straight path and moving in the right direction. If that's you, you're on that journey, stick around. See you guys soon.
Peace.
So you're in the restaurant industry, you want to get into sales. Walk me through like what's going on.
I was living in Arkansas, working in restaurant industry, and I just wanted to do something different. And so I was at the time competing in bodybuilding. And so I wanted to move to Florida to pursue a career in training.
Okay.
And when I moved down here, in the time, to start building a book of training, I took a part-time job at a nutrition store. The owner of the nutrition store was a career salesman and taught me a lot about sales. And that's where I fell in love with the process and the whole art of the sale. And that's what really lit the flame. And then from there, I've kind of progressed from the nutrition store, went into anti-aging for a bit, and then found myself in door-to-door for solar. When I got into solar, I started looking at who was doing the most, who was doing the best, and I found guys that were doing door-to-door or crushing it. So I devoted myself to really learning door-to-door sales. I dove in and I spent 5 years in door-to-door, the first year or two mostly on my own, and then building a team after that and growing a team to do 24 million in installs in 2024.
24 million in 1 year.
24 million in installs across
So
the team.
how many people did you have on your team?
I think that year total of like 20 different reps.
Okay. Dude, that's crazy. So they're each doing about $1 million a year on average.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you were in the restaurant industry, basically selling low ticket items, right? You're selling like meals to people. Then you want to transition into making more commission by selling something more expensive. You got into solar. Tell me about your relationship with alcohol and like what made you quit. It's been 5 years, right?
Yep. So I had this relationship with alcohol where it was controlling me. I was drinking by myself at home, especially like when COVID came around. I was just drinking tequila straight and more than ever, and I was taking pills, and I was at the mercy of these substances. And so when I decided to quit, I gave it up because I knew that I would never be able to build the family and the life that I wanted with that. And so once I'd quit, I decided, my head got clear. I wanted to get into, selling something that was higher ticket. And so I found solar. My wife had been in solar for about, 4 years or so, 5 years at that point on the operations side. And I was able to see kind of from the back door what other companies were doing, working with them, selling solar. And so I just started studying.
Oh, you got it, bro. Look at your ball in the green right there.
Nice. I had a pretty good shot.
Yeah.
I decided to get into solar, so I started just studying door-to-door because that was the teams from her company that were doing the most. And so I just made myself a student and would wake up at 5 a.m. every day studying door-to-door sales. I studied for about 2 months before I jumped into the industry, and then when I jumped in, I started making sales the very first week.
Fire. Great. Thanks for sharing that, by the way, because that's a big part of like there's the opportunities already there for a lot of these opportunities, whether if it's solar, insurance, whatever it is that you're selling. But it's the vices that hold people back. Like it's like those things that like we keep it's almost like we're praising those things over our own success. Let's go get that. He's about to putt for birdie. Dude, I can't believe. So he lost his ball in the last hole completely. Like he was about to mark like a 8. And then we found the ball. It was behind the green. He chipped it on up and down for par. He went from like an 8 to a par. For birdie. That was for birdie? Yeah. Oh, shit. Okay, so he got a birdie on the first hole. I got a double bogey. So birdie, double bogey, hole 1 on the back 9. So we're off to hole number 2. You had already been into like bodybuilding and stuff for a while. How was your health around that time where you were like drinking a lot and that, you said that was every single day?
Yeah. In the restaurant industry, it was very common to leave the restaurant and go to the bar right after. I would pretty much spend all the money I would make in tips. I'd spend that night at the bar. And so I was making decent money, but not really keeping any of it because I spent it all in bars. Then when I decided to get out of the restaurant industry to try to break that cycle, I moved to Florida after I got my pro card in men's physique, I wanted to use the pro card to become a personal trainer and leverage that experience. And so while I was, first moved down here, I picked up the job in the nutrition store, and that's where I really fell in love with sales and learned sales.
Yeah, man, I can imagine like just being in that environment. It's so easy to like fall into those habits. Like you're around it every single day. All right, so we're going to hole 3 right now with the back 9. He's even. Sorry about that. He's even. It's not +1. Okay, so tell me about the breaking point. Like when did you decide, all right, that's it, I'm cutting it off? Like what was the date? How hard was it? Did he have withdrawals? Like was it easy?
Yeah, I had in late 2020, I had become pretty dependent on a product called Kratom that you could buy over the counter. It's legal to buy, but it works just like a painkiller. It's an opiate. If you ask me, it's just as bad as taking pills. My wife had noticed that I'd become like drowsy at the dinner table. Behavior was different, and so she had helped me come off of it. I came off of it, but then slipped and was taking pills, and one night she found out I was taking pills and pretty much told me that, if I was going to continue in the marriage with her, and
Ultimatum, basically.
and yeah, basically said like it's the pills or me. And so I've always wanted to have a family, and I knew that the drugs and alcohol weren't serving me, and so I just made a decision that I had to change my identity that day, and that was December 9th, 2020.
Dude, that's crazy, like how you can remember the exact date, because change like happens in an instant. It's like you got to decide that shit, and then the moment you decide that's not who you are anymore, you stop leaning towards it. That's awesome, man. I'm in the middle of that. I'm trying to change my identity. I've never had a 6-pack, like a real 6-pack, and it's like why? Because I don't see myself as that person. But I know it starts with the mind first. So tell me, it's a good transition into like your bodybuilding stuff. Like tell me a little bit more about that.
Bodybuilding was like an obsession in itself. I saw a photo of a guy with veins in his abs in a magazine, and I one day just decided I wanted that. And so this was earlier on. This was in like 2010, 2011 when I saw that, and I said, I'm going to get in shape like that, and I'm going to get myself in a magazine. That was my goal. And then along that path, I found out about men's physique competitions, and it was early in the development of that industry, of that type of competing. And so I was on the forefront of it. I became a pro in 2012. And, my vices of alcohol and drugs were always there. But when I was in bodybuilding, that kept me away from it because I knew I couldn't drink and do what I wanted to achieve that goal. And so really whenever I stopped competing is when those vices came back. And I stopped competing in 2016. And it took me from 2016 to 2020 for it to hit a breaking point.
By the way, guys, shout out to Happy Panda. Happy Panda. Yeah, Cameron, Shane's buddy, came out with this company. It tastes really good, man. And it's like really healthy, right?
5 calories, 150 milligrams of caffeine.
Oh, milligrams of caffeine. Oh, I found my ball. See you guys on the next hole. From 0 to 24 million in installations, solar sales, how the fuck?
I started off door to door by myself. The first year I probably did 50 installs. So that's probably like 2.5 million in installs by myself. And then I started recruiting, built a decent sized team, but then when it really blew up is when I opened a call center. I built a call center in the US in my office in Boca to book appointments on the phone, to dispatch sales reps to the homes. And so that was really when it launched, because then I could bring people in, feed them appointments, and keep them busy and keep them in houses, just doing presentations. Yeah, so we partnered with Rack Electric. My wife actually built the operations side, and then my sales organization that I built was the majority of their sales side.
So then what was like the tipping point? Because if business is going good, so what was like the turning point of like, all right, I want to look at different types of sales?
The best thing that I heard was a friend of mine told me, he said, he had built a really good career in solar, but he felt like he was on the Titanic. He was on the big ship. He was eating his filet and his lobster tail, but the ship was going down. And so it's the best way to describe it. It really felt like we were building a business on sand, because with every regulation change, with some of these big banks going out of business, like one of the largest banks that we used filed bankruptcy in the end of 2024. And so that completely shifted and changed everything in 2025.
I can imagine there, like, not only are sales kind of tanking because of shit that's not even in your control, but the number one thing in sales, like, you got to have momentum with your sales team. So how was that, like, trying to keep your sales team motivated as, like, you know, so things are going down and it's already like a long sales cycle too? So how did you like try to maintain the motivation there?
I just tried to, double down on the things that were working and stay away from the things that weren't. But at the same time, people were jumping from the industry. Whenever things got harder, so to speak, they would, leave the industry because most of them were 1099 sales agents. So they would just leave for a different opportunity. And so there was like a mass exodus in 2025. And that's when, one of our sales partners actually approached me early in 2025 and told me, hey, I'm leaving solar to get into life insurance. You should really look at it. I was so busy trying to hold the ship together that, I just kind of blew him off at first. And so, that happened 3 or 4 months later. He hit me up and said, things are going really well, better than I thought they would. And so, after 6 months or so, I finally looked at it and I realized that if I didn't get in on the opportunity, that I would lose all of my people to that opportunity eventually.
So you're able to bring that opportunity, like bring them to the opportunity, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
1 over after 3.
1 over after 3, and I bogeyed that one, so I'm 5 over after 3. See you guys on the next one. I'm looking for a ball right now, but yeah, this is pretty cool interviewing Shane. He has a lot of experience in sales, marketing. Shane is hitting. Nice shot. Yeah, so it's true. When it comes to selling, it's all about the product or the service that you have, and competition's going to rise, regulation's going to come sometimes. So you always got to keep your eye out. Like, what's the next opportunity? You got to treat your team as like your vessel, and you, as a leader, you always got to be looking out. Like, what else could I do to help my team succeed?
And I've always been one to make sure that I was still producing, but I was always looking out for my team to make sure that they were successful. And a lot of making the switch into this industry is to make sure that I was putting anybody that I brought into sales into the industry was making sure that they were going to be successful. And one thing about insurance is the companies that we're selling for have been in business for over 100 years, some of them 150, 170 years. So, that's a more stable ground and more reliable. And best part about this versus solar is there's no fulfillment, so we don't have to be at the mercy of an installation company or a lot of the banks to fund the jobs. Really just making sure that we're selling directly for the insurance companies, and they pay super fast, so there's no delay in getting paid or no waiting on somebody to go fulfill the install.
Shane is about to hit it on the green, he says. How far is the green? 3 something. What is it? What, like 320, 380? It's a big.
It's like 350.
350. Oof. God, you hammered that. All right, my turn. Oh, shit. It's not coming back. It's not coming back. Hole 6, par 5, 518 yards. Shane is 4 over. I'm 6 over. And trying to get some eagles here, some birdies. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm due for a birdie.
So, big part of what we're talking about just recently is, he's transitioned over from solar sales, went from 0 to 24 million in 2024. Now transitioning over to insurance. The goal is hitting 7 figures. Like, what's the game plan? How are you going to get there? How soon you think it's going to take you, or how long you think it's going to take you?
Yeah, my wife and I have been spending the last 5 months really learning the industry, and I feel like I'm to the point now where I can teach it well. And so goal over the next year is to build a substantial agency and make it easy for success. The industry average is about 3% of people that get their license make it a full year. And so I'd like to set up systems and processes and make sure that we can ensure success for new agents so that we can have a 10 to 20% retention rate and really help guide people to success there. And so looking to build the 7 figures in the next year.
So instead of like focusing so much on the number, we're just focusing on the opportunity and the retention, right? Because if the retention is up, that means the numbers are up. If the numbers are up, we're all moving in the same direction. So You think 12 months?
Yeah, I think over the next 12 months, really the goal is to have 100 writing agents that write on average 15,000 per agent.
Gotcha. And so 15,000. That's is that commission, or is that ballpark commission what they would be making per month?
Yeah, once you get started, you start off at a 70% commission rate, but it's pretty easy to build up to 100% within the first 6 months. And so help them find their way up to that 100% and be able to pay out $1 million in commissions per month.
Got it. All right, let's get some eagles. He hooked it.
Come around. Keep coming, keep coming, keep coming, keep coming. Big tree. I think it stayed in, right? Yeah.
Okay, so you mentioned systems. Let's talk about systems, because I heard James Clear, Atomic Habits.
Mm-hmm.
He says you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. So your goal right now is to create systems to where anybody could come in and start making at least $15K a month. You want to help 100 people do that. So what's your system to get there?
So when we first started in the industry, we were calling aged data, so people that had opted in sent mailers in looking for life insurance a year or 2 years before. That was a pretty good system, but it was also a grind, and it required a pretty good level of skill to do it. It also cost money to buy those. You had to invest and then turn those into money. So we also tried Facebook ads, which is good, but also digital ads. Sometimes you can get a mixed bag, and it's also another pretty big investment. So we recently started working with a company that's set up some AI texting, where we're able to get lower cost data and put that in, and then have the text bot book appointments for us. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to invest in those leads. I'm going to apply set up appointments for our agents at no cost to them, and they'll only pay if they close them. So it allows people that want to learn, be able to come in without any investment, get their calendar booked full of appointments, and then that way they can get in the game, start closing deals without a big investment, and make it all profitable for everybody.
Got you. And what's your recruitment? How are you finding these agents, and what does your recruitment process look like?
With my history in door-to-door, a lot of my recruits so far have come from door-to-door, people that have been in it and just tired of being out in the elements, basically cold calling people on their doors at their homes. With this, we're only talking to people that have opted in, so it's a warmer lead, and also being able to do it from anywhere gives us freedom to be in any state, sell in any state. And I don't know about you, but I don't know any fathers that would want their daughter out selling on the doors, where with this they can be in the safety and privacy of their own home. They can travel. It allows for a different type of demographic of recruit. Instead of door to door, which was mostly younger men, this is younger, older men, women, in shape, out of shape. Anybody can get on the phone and make money with telephone sales.
It's true. I'm seeing it left and right. I got so many people that I've met throughout the years. They've gone from outside sales to virtual sales, and it's only going to get bigger. So we are on to this same hole. We were going to get eagles. I think you still have a chance?
Yeah, I'm hearing too.
I have no chance. I'm about to get a par, hopefully. Let you know how it goes. Hey guys, Shane is about to hit a chip in for eagle. He hit it 260 yards onto the green with a 3-wood, and he's chipping for eagle. He didn't feel it. It wasn't the right time. Here it goes. Oh, come on, get up. Okay, he's putting for birdie. I'm putting for par. As you can see, I'm right there. He's right here. Fuck. Bogey. Par. Bogey, par. No eagles. It's all good. I don't even like the eagles. 4 over, 6 over. Hole number 7 on the back 9. So, Shane, you kind of have a unique story here, because you're not just going into insurance, you're kind of going in as already a sales leader. So you're building your team right away. What are some of the challenges with overlooking a sales team, making sure everybody's staying motivated? Sales is freaking tough, right? It's obviously it's a lot easier with all these systems that you have now, but it's still tough. What do you do just keep everybody on track?
A lot of the leadership is the same. I mean, the product is different, but a lot of it is just tracking KPIs or key performance indicators. Training not only on the skills and how to overcome objections, how to navigate the products, but also training on the mindset and disciplines that are outside of the job that really help you to do better in the job. And so holding people accountable, tracking KPIs, and just leading from the front and showing how it's done.
As you're building your sales team, you're producing too?
Yeah, so my wife and I work as a team, so a lot of times I'm doing a lot of the prospecting, I'm setting them up, and then she's actually doing the close. So we're working together, and it's been working really well because, in my opinion, finding and getting the ones that are interested and building the need is the hardest part of it. And so I've been doing that and just handing them off for my wife to do the presentations and to close the deals.
Okay, we are off to hole number 7, 374 yards, par 4. Wait, guys, we are playing Eagle Trace. This is Coral Springs, about 40 minutes northwest of Miami, Brickell, all that area. And it's beautiful course, beautiful day out here. Oof. Went like 5 miles high, but it went far. Let's see if I got any tricks up my sleeves. Oh, fuck. I am done. I'm done with this fucking driver. Bro, I've hit so many houses today. I used to feel bad about shit like that, but then I was, yeah, like, don't buy a house on a golf course if you don't want golf balls to hit you. Like, it's not my fault. Do you think anybody could do sales?
Yes. I mean, yes and no. So I think anybody that wants it bad enough can do it. It doesn't matter if they're introverted or extroverted. I know many introverted people that can put on a show, and it's a lot like a performance. And really just learning psychology, learning how to listen. And the good thing about introverts is they typically listen more than they speak. And so they can become really, really good salespeople because a lot of what we do in sales is listening and adapting actively in real time with what the customer is saying. Asking the right questions is a big part of it. Really, I think that anybody can, but they have to really want it, and it's a skill that you have to develop.
There's like an emotional, like, energy side of it too, where like you need to actually care about the prospect. Like, it can't just be, ask the right questions and then use logic to try to sell people. Like, people buy off of how you make them feel. And that's something that's like emotional intelligence and just being able to build rapport with somebody, like get them to trust, like, and respect you. Like, that's not easy. That's a skill that you develop. Some people have it naturally, right? But those who don't, like, they can still develop it. It's not like your personality is just set that way. And when it comes to like finding people, do you have like a good like pre-vetting process? Like, make sure like the culture stays the same and like, you're working with like-minded people.
Optimistic, positive. I like people that feel lucky. So I ask this question in every interview. I say, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being not very and 10 being extremely, how lucky of a person do you feel like you are? And I don't like to accept anything less than 9 or 10.
That makes sense, bro. Because somebody says a 3, is like, yeah, I don't want your fucking bad luck. Get your shit out of here. So we are at 135 to the middle. Shane's about to stick it for a easy tap in for birdie. Let's see what happens. That sounded nice. Good shot, my friend. So you just said EBITDA. For those who are listening and are not sure what that means, like, that's the magic number that a lot of like private equity is looking for. Could you explain what the acronym means and why it's such an important number?
EBITDA essentially is your net profit. It's your earnings after they take out your interest, depreciation, everything else. So you can basically just think of it as your net profit. And so net profit in insurance is coming from your residual book of business as well as your downline, or the people that you bring into the business underneath you. And so the goal is to be able to build up a healthy EBITDA, be able to sell it for 7 to 8 times that number for an exit. And when I sell, I want to be able to bring all the people that have built healthy books underneath me to be able to sell at the same time and package it all together and help multiple people, dozens of people make 7-figure exits.
So we're about to finish up this hole. Shane, you're putting for, he's putting for par. I'm putting for bogey. And when we return, we're going to hear a little bit more about what happens next after selling an insurance company. Like, what do? Do you keep working? You start another business? So, see you guys soon. Okay. This is for bogey. Get the fuck out of here. Yeah. Cut. We sell an insurance agency, make millions and millions of dollars. What's next? Do you start another business? Do you retire?
Goal is to sell and make enough money that my family and I can travel and live off of investments, diversified between real estate, other startups, stocks, and just really, diversify and be able to live off the interest and have freedom to be wherever I want and go where I want.
Okay, so we're going to a par 3, 169. I think one of us is gonna get a hole in one in this one. Hey, what's he doing? This guy, he's going after. Oh, I thought you were going after the iguana. He just found a Pro V1, guys. Guys, this is just crazy.
No, it's a $6 golf.
Do you not know what that is? It's a $6 golf ball. He just found $6. That's how rich golf is. Like, there's just $6 bills just lying around everywhere. We got 2 holes. You are 6. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Shane is 5 over. I am 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 over. And I need a par the rest of it to break. Oh, shit. Somebody screamed out 4. Okay. Damn, this is a nice scenic hole. The last one looks really nice. We about to document the first hole in one in the first episode of the Age of Abundance Golfcast. Pin is right there. 151. Oh, that's right at it. That's right at it. Get up. Oh. Right by the pin, just a little long. That's what she said. Get up. You sell the agency. What's next? How do you go about life? You'll be young too. So you're just retiring early? Like, what's the next move?
Yeah, the goal is to have, freedom of location, financial freedom, be able to travel, raise my children, and, just live off of investments.
Any type of investment, like any specific type of investments?
I plan on diversifying, doing some real estate, some in the stocks and some startups.
You can start any startup. Like, what would be like your dream startup?
I love cars, and so, renting exotics would be pretty cool. I wouldn't want to run the day-to-day of it, but I think it'd be cool to own a lot of exotics that people rent.
I hear that. I just commented on one of my boys' stories, and he has an exotic car company. He posted a photo of a Urus that somebody crashed, and I'm like, bro, I don't know if I can deal with that kind of stuff. But I do like the idea of having a lot of exotic cars. That sounds fun. So if you can make a business out of it, I would do it just as a hobby, and not expect the business to be profitable. Who gives a fuck?
Right.
Just
be able to drive whatever you want.
Drive whatever you want, and then have the opportunity to make some of your money back
Yeah.
because you're renting it. I like that. Yeah. Cool. That sounds like a good idea. Shit, I might think about that too. All right. We are about to. He's about to putt for birdie. I'm about to chip for birdie. This is hole number 8. Okay, so last hole. It's been a long time. All right, let's go. Okay, we'll move. Fuck these people. They've been hitting into us, man, 3 times already.
Yeah, the ball's running right by.
They literally almost hit us last time. These motherfuckers.
This is a par 4, 400 yards.
We can take those guys, bro. They're 80. All right. So, last hole, and we are right now. Shane just got a par, so he's 5 over on the back. I got a bogey. I'm the bogey machine. I got 1, 2, 5, 9 over on the back, and this is the most beautiful hole. Like, check this out. Like, it's so wide and open. It's so hard to fuck up on this hole because, like, there's no hazards. Then you see, like, the clubhouse all the way over there. So we're going to hit driver here. And I got to ask Shane just a couple more questions before we take off today. Okay, so we talked about, like, you know, your backstory, cutting vices. Once you cut vices, it's all about having the right systems, or, well, first having the right vehicle, looking out for the right vehicles, and then having the right system where you're setting yourself up for success. But there's still, like, a lot of bad, right? There's still a lot of mindset stuff. There's a lot of things that happen throughout the day-to-day, like weeks, like deals fall through the cracks, chargebacks. That's a big thing in the industry. So, like, you know, what analogy would you give it when it comes to, like, just staying motivated?
I believe it's really important to, you know, keep a positive mindset always, even when you're having bad days, bad weeks, bad months even. Just like today, like, I played not so great on the front nine, but if I would have let that carry on into the back nine, I wouldn't have had the game that I had today. So, you know, even when you're struggling, just know that, you know, you're literally a move away, a deal away, a day away from turning it all around. And so it's super important to stay positive always, even when you're down, and not to let that down feeling control you, because it'll just lead to more down if you stay in it.
That's a big point, man, because it's like sometimes we let our failures, like, kind of haunt us a little bit, and then the fear creeps in because of our past failures. But we got to just be present. We got to, like, it's really a game of emotions. That's why I love golf so much. It really is like a game of emotions, and if you don't have your emotions right, you let, like, one blow up hole ruin the rest of it. That's not how you win championships. Right now we're in the last hole. We've been keeping a calm mindset. He's crushing on the back nine, and I think I have a feeling we're gonna eagle this hole, one of us. So stay tuned. Putting for
Par.
He's putting for par. No eagles on this one. I'm chipping for par. Hole 18. Eagle trace.
Nice chip. Get in there.
Sit. All right, there you have it, folks. What a great round, man. Awesome round. Front nine was a little tough for you.
Yeah.
Back nine, you picked it up. Ended up shooting a 93. You did 6 over on the back, which is fucking awesome. I got a 96. My back was a little shitty, but great conversations. A lot of great stuff, man. A lot of great insight. Just like you sharing your past, you know, and being vulnerable about, like, shit that you've been through. Because there's a lot of people listening right now, like, they're maybe looking to get into sales, they're looking to, like, change their lives physically, financially, mentally, but it all starts with removing the shit that's, like, distracting you, your vices. So you sharing that, anything you want to share to somebody that's maybe going through a lot of shit that you went through in the past, like, how are they going to overcome it? Any words of wisdom, advice that you want to share?
Best advice I can give is don't let your past define you. You know, I dropped out of college. I thought whenever I was in college that getting a degree and finding some kind of a salary job was the only way to make it. You know, I learned the hard way through a lot of things, but you know, ultimately, if you don't let the past define you, there's nothing that can stop you from making a multiple six-figure income and changing your life forever, and it can happen quickly. So the biggest thing that I did was I didn't wait on anything to come to me. I changed myself, and then everything around me changed from that.
That's it. It's an identity shift. You change your identity, everything else changes as well. Guys, thank you for tuning in. See you guys on episode number 2. Peace.
Thanks.